Good evening, class, and welcome to Research Scholarship. I am going to be your teacher, Mrs. Martindale. Hello. I am excited about teaching this course, and I want to try to provide you with a short video, hopefully each week, to assist you with your learning process. This week's objectives are explain paradigms that support various forms of research, such as quantitative, qualitative, and mixed, and to review research terminology, the methods and procedures, and integrating information that you learned during your undergraduate program. Assignments for the week include reading assignments chapters 1, 2, and 3, posting your week 1 discussion forum question in response to 2 of your peers, reviewing the Allied Learning Practicum. We're going to go over that more in depth here in just a second. And then you're going to post in the education forum along with 2 responses to peers. You will also post each week in the spiritual life discussion forum. So each week you're going to be posting questions, and I'm sure that you're already used to this from other previous courses. What I want to go over briefly is the Applied Learning Practicum. And in the week 1 folders, you'll find a log that looks like this. I hope that you can see that okay. But it'll look something like this, and it'll have like objectives listed here, and then where you can post your weeks and everything there, and your time spent. So each student is responsible for completing the ALP, the Applied Learning Practicum, which is the project, by week 8 of this course. Students will document their progress on the ALP by submitting this ALP objectives and clinical hour log each week, beginning week 2. Students are expected to create a personal learning experience to meet these objectives, in addition to classroom readings or assignments. So this goes above and beyond what you're already doing in class. The goal is to help students expand personal knowledge that coincides or complements classroom learning experiences. Students must complete a minimum of 1 objective per week. Objective validation should be professionally written, and in any sources utilized should be written in APA format. Do not use first person when validating objectives. In addition to meeting the objectives, the student will record the hours spent working on their ALP. So each week, as you're working towards the Applied Learning Practicum, which is the big project, you're going to log your time here on your objectives. So let's talk about right now the Applied Learning Practicum, which is the big project. Graduate students are to identify a gap in research or a research-based problem in their workplace and utilize research methodologies to investigate, develop strategies, and propose a solution to the problem in the form of a formal written proposal. Students should choose a problem that is pertinent to their degree path, such as if you're taking nursing administration or you're doing nursing education. And keep in mind that this problem has the potential to be carried forward through the remainder of the program and incorporated into your capstone project. So what you're doing is little steps each course toward your big practicum project that is going to ultimately result in you getting your master's degree, which is the goal, right? The following components must be addressed in the proposal. So you're going to find a problem, you're going to research the question, identify with background data and supports why this is a problem. You're going to have a literature review. There will be a minimum of 15 sources, and they need to be no later than 2008, which means they were not published earlier than 2008. You'll create a plan or a strategy to address the problem. Must be research or evidence-based and supported by literature. You will identify the workplace collaborative efforts required to implement the proposed plan, and you will include other disciplines that will be part of the collaboration. such as if you need nutrition department, if you need administration department like the finance committee, the CFO, those people who you would collaborate with. Relate how this new evidence or research will be integrated into the workplace environment, including any technology that will be utilized. Describe how the proposed plan will make an impact on quality and/or safety in the workplace setting. Describe how this information will be disseminated throughout your workplace. Locate or create a tool that can measure or evaluate the significance of your proposed plan or strategy. And you'll create a PowerPoint presentation regarding the proposal to share and discuss in week 8 when this is due, and so that your other classmates will be able to see this. This ALP, the ALP project, the whole project is due the last week of the course. But next week, beginning next week, you will begin working on your log that is going to progress you towards that project. So for week 1, you see here on your log, the clinical hours log, it says, recognize and explore gaps that exist between research and integration of evidence-based evidence in research. Clinical or administrative nurse practice roles. Research, clinical. Well, I can't read backwards. Recognize and explore gaps that exist between research and integration of evidence-based evidence in research, clinical or administrative nurse practice roles. So what you'll do beginning week 2, you can start this week, but you're going to log the time spent recognizing and exploring gaps that exist in your workplace, whether administrative or clinical, that you're going to see something that interests you. Whenever I did my master's degree, what I found out is that there was a gap. After I did research, I found out there was a gap between, we do a lot of education in diabetes in the hospital. Well, there's a gap between when they leave the hospital and resources in the community. We weren't providing enough community resources for our patients in hospitals when they left the community, when they left the hospital, and their access to additional resources in the community. So I developed a plan to try to fix that, which ended up being a pamphlet that gave, depending on where the patient was located in the area, they got a pamphlet with resources listed in the community that they could reach out to that would help them support their diabetes progress. So what you'll do is figure out, research and explore something that interests you, and when you find something like that, keep track of your time, and you will log, if you do clinical hours, time spent in the clinical doing it, and then what week you did this. So this, probably the first one you'll start, that's pretty self-explanatory that you're going to begin that first. So you'll start week 1 and then log your time. In addition to the other assignments this week, each week you're going to have an education forum post that's due, and then your spiritual life discussion posts. This week I will be assigning teams, learning teams, because you have an assignment due in week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 7. If you have a preference for someone that you would like on your team, which I know some of you have already been in teams and you work well with other people, please send me an email of that preference. And if you haven't already done so, please post your bio so I can get to know you, and post that you have read and understand the syllabus. I am available most of the time. Please feel free to call me or text me. My phone number is listed in my bio, and you have my email address. I do look forward to our time together for this course, and research is one of the subjects that I love and I'm passionate about, and maybe I can spread the love for research. So blessings, and I will be praying for each of you as you embark on the learning within this week. I apologize for the dog barking. Blessings, and I will talk to you soon.